Uh, Hello my dear students. In the previous video we have studied about the melting point. We have seen that the melting point of Hi is even greater than the HF. Otherwise the melting point of HF is greater than HBr and HCl because HF has got the hydrogen bonding, but the melting point of Hi is more than HF because Hi, the molecular mass as we go down the group increases. So the molecular mass of Hi is almost 128 gram per mole, whereas the molecular mass of HF is 20 gram per mole, and thus there is a vast difference of molecular mass. So the way the van der Waals forces increases, that overcomes the effect of hydrogen bonding, and thus the melting point of Hi is more than the melting point of Hs. It is interesting to note that boiling point of HF is greater than the boiling point of Hi. Now in case of melting point, we have seen that hydrogen iodide has got higher melting point, but let's look at the boiling point of this liquid hydrogen halides. So you know, boiling point is the property of liquid, so we will think of liquid HF, liquid HCl, liquid HBr and liquid Hi. Liquid HF boils at 293 Kelvin, liquid HCl boils at 189 Kelvin, liquid HBr boils at 206 Kelvin, and liquid Hi boils at 238 Kelvin. Looking at this, you can easily understand that HF boils at even higher temperature than Hi. Otherwise, going down the group, the boiling point increases. But HF has got the highest boiling point. What is the reason? Let us try to understand. Order of boiling point: HCl is less than HBr, HBr is less than Hi, and Hi is less than HF. Why does the boiling point of HF is higher than all the hydrogen halides? What is the reason? Let us try to understand. Hydrogen fluoride HF has got very strong hydrogen bonding. That is what we are aware. But please try to remember this red box. Hydrogen bonding is generally found in liquid or solid state, but HF show hydrogen bonding in all solid, liquid and gaseous states. So even when HF goes from liquid state to the gaseous state, it still contains its hydrogen bonding. Now, if we look at boiling point is a property of liquid. So when we think about boiling point, actually we are looking at the liquid state. Hydrogen bonded HF molecules are difficult to evaporate even compared to Hi molecules. Thus boiling point of HF is even higher than Hi. You see, when we boil the HF in liquid state, HF goes to the gaseous state with hydrogen bonding. HF molecules goes to the liquid state with hydrogen bonding. So more energy is required to convert this hydrogen bonded HF liquid to hydrogen bonded HF gas, and that is why more energy is required, and the boiling point of HF is even higher than that. Bond length is hydrogen halide increases as the size of halogen increase down the group. Now we need to study about the bond lengths. Bond length is, you know, the distance between the center or the nucleus, distance between the centers of nucleus of an atom. So if two big atoms combines with each other, they form longer bond length. If small atom combines with each other, they form the shorter bond length. So as the atomic size is small, bond length would be small. Here if you look at the bond length of the various hydrogen halides, HF has got the bond length of 91.7 picometer, HCl has got the bond length of 127.4 picometer, HBr has got the bond length of 141.4 picometer, Hi has got the bond length of 160.9 picometer. These bond length, if you can see, as we go down the group, as the number of shell increases from fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodide, as the size increases from fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodide, same way bond length between hydrogen and fluorine or hydrogen and chlorine or bond length between hydrogen and halogen also increases going down the group. 91.7 picometer to 127.4 picometer, from 127.4 picometer to 141.4 picometer, from 141.4 picometer to 160.9 picometer. So there is no anomaly going down the group as it was expected. The bond length also increases going down the group when we study this hydrogen halides. Now we want to study the reactivity of these halogens towards the oxygen. So halogen forms many oxides with oxygen, but most of them are unstable. Now why? What is the reason? You know, halogens are the most electronegative elements of their particular period, but oxygen is also quite electronegative in nature. So there would be more repulsion rather than the attraction between the halogens and oxygen, and that is why the the compound formed between halogen and oxygen are not expected to be much stable, and that is why halogen forms many oxide with oxygen, or many compounds with oxygen, but most of them are unstable. Let us think of fluorine. Fluorine forms two oxygen fluorides, not oxides. Remember, fluorine makes compounds with oxygen. Fluorine make only two compounds. They are not oxide, but they are fluoride. That means fluorine is present in this compound as a having the negative oxidation state, whereas oxygen will have the positive oxidation state. So they are known as the fluoride, oxygen fluorides, but not the oxides. You can see there are two compounds formed. One is OF2, another is O2F2. OF2 has got oxygen in +2 oxidation state and fluorine in -1 oxidation state. O2F2 has got oxygen in +1 oxidation state and fluorine in -1 oxidation state. So they are not oxides, but they are oxygen fluorides. They also are called oxyfluorides. Fluorine does not form oxides, and these are oxyfluorides because fluorine is the most electronegative element. Fluorine shows only -1 oxidation state. Being less electronegative, oxygen cannot remove electron from fluorine, and that is why all the compounds formed by fluorine, they are not the oxides, but they are the oxyfluorides. Out of OF2 and O2F2, only OF2 is thermally stable. Again, O2F2 is not much stable. But think O2F2 is a very good fluorinating agent, and let us understand about the use of O2F2. O2F2 oxidizes the plutonium to PuF6, and the reaction is used in the removing plutonium as a PuF6 from the spent nuclear fuel. You know, during nuclear reaction, plutonium is used, or plutonium is found or produced as a fuel, and if there is a spent nuclear fuel available, so if there is plutonium present, we can pass O2F2 through it and we get PuF6. This is how from the spent nuclear fuel plutonium can be taken out easily. Both OF2 and O2F2 are strong fluorinating agent. So they releases fluorine, and they allow, or they provide fluorine to the other elements or compounds, and this is how they are strong fluorinating agent. I hope, my dear students, you are enjoying studies. We'll study about the oxides or the compounds of oxygen, compounds of chlorine with oxygen into the next video. Happy learning.